Roman Reigns, the Usos and Sami Zayn have won War Games and restored the Ulafala back to its rightful place. Reigns attempted to lay it to rest alongside his father and end the Civil War, but while Roman has toppled the Rogue bloodline, he's now face to face with the final boss. And The Rock is not happy, but not in the same way some expect. He's assembled the entire bloodline, and he actually wants to be a mediator to bring them together. You know, it breaks The Rock's heart to see this. My family, our family, divided like this in front of the whole world. So The Rock wears the sacred Ulafala not as a declaration of war. Not because the family split apart under the leadership of Roman Reigns and it got worse under Solo. The Rock, the final boss, wears the Ulafala to make things right. Jay, Jimmy and Sammy have heard enough. They're not buying what The Rock is saying, but Roman takes exception, walks to the ring and gets in The Rock's face and says, "You know, it says a lot about you, Dwayne. Always thinking you're the solution, not realizing that you're the problem. You think putting that on fixes everything?" And The Rock fires back and he says, "Well, The Rock wouldn't have to fix everything if you didn't break everything. Look at you. You've got a red-headed stepchild following you around. You've got Jimmy and Jay walking out. You've got the wise man getting destroyed. But they and you need to remember one thing, Roman, and you were the one that said it best. If you're not with us, you're against us. And The Rock is afraid that you might be against us." The Rock is seizing control, and he knows he and Roman can't coexist as leaders. But this draws Jay, Jimmy and Sammy back out to the arena, and it's completely off the rails. The Rogue bloodline, led by The Rock, is destroying the old guard. It's scorched earth, there's blood spilled everywhere, and all of the original members are absolutely decimated. They're injured and quite clearly put on the shelf for some time. And it's The Rock who stands tall above it all. But what is his ultimate goal? What is he going to do to restore order? Well, it begins with fixing a clear fracture that lies within. What I'm looking at is the backbone of our family. Two of the most dangerous and vicious men in this industry, and you two had eyes on the Ulafala, and it came between you. But that's no more, because it's where it belongs now, and you two can focus on getting the family back on top, starting with the Royal Rumble. The Rock has got both of you in, so you're going to work together to win it. And if it comes down to the final two of you at the end, may the best man win. But either way, take over Raw and we take that World Championship. But as for the other part of the plan, well, The Rock made a promise before he left, and now it's time to keep that promise. Told you, boy. The Rock told you he would be back, and he told you he would be back for something else, didn't he? Yeah, he said he'd hold that title for real. And The Rock keeps his promises. So Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes faces the final boss, and I fix all of this. And I finish the job that Roman Reigns couldn't. Your story. The Rock lays down what is not even a challenge, because he's on the board and he can just make it happen. But he also leveraged this position to get Sikoa and Fatu into the Royal Rumble, and they take it apart. They dominate it. They work together just like The Rock demanded. Fatu and Sikoa have just completely decimated the field, including the final man that they have to throw out, who is down in the corner. But as Sikoa goes over to grab him, he's stopped by Fatu because he wants to be the one to do it. This is where things boil over. They can't hold off any longer. The competitiveness is way too much and they start going at it. It was bound to happen between these two titans. Fatu tries to throw Solo out, but he can't. Solo tries to throw Fatu out, but he can't. And they keep trading. But in all of this, they've taken their eyes off the prize and the last man left. CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. He's got his WrestleMania main event. Finally, Solo Sikoa and Fatu, who got caught up in the emotion, start to realize what this might mean when they will need to face the consequences of the final boss. But that's something for the future, because the final boss has his own battle to worry about, and it's a dream match between the American Nightmare and the self-appointed tribal chief. And Cody is still feeling the effects of the beatdown at the hands of The Rock, and with Cody's mother at ringside to watch, The Rock has one eye on her as well. And he's constantly talking to her while he has hold of her son. It's gotten so personal and so vitriolic with him that his part of the plan is to manipulate Cody mentally to take him out of his game. And it is working, because Cody takes extra risk to try and take out the final boss. He springboards off the apron looking for a Cody cutter, but The Rock evades and Cody crashes through the announce table and he's hurting big time. But this is where The Rock really sinks his teeth in, and he saunters over to the front row and he says, "Mama Rhodes, I'm gonna do this for your benefit. I'm gonna finish this quick so your boy doesn't have to suffer anymore." The Rock walks over, but he's wasted too much time because Cody fights back and he manages to get him back in the ring. And now Cody has the whole crowd behind him and he's rallying. The final boss underestimated the American Nightmare, and it's turning into a nightmare for the cocky Great One. And it seems as though The Rock is on the verge of losing, which of course brings out Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. They're the only ones left after The Rock sent Fatu and Sikoa home after they failed in the Royal Rumble. But as they get to ringside, they're stopped, but not by force, but by Paul Heyman. Heyman has walked into the Lion's Den, but before they attack, Cody rushes to ringside and he starts fighting them off. He actually helps Heyman. He fights them away, and Heyman has stayed loyal to Roman, and he wants to stop The Rock from seizing ultimate power. But in doing that, he took Cody's attention, and it costs him dearly. Unthinkable, unimaginable, undeniable. The Rock is the new undisputed WWE champion. Finishes the job that Roman Reigns couldn't. Heyman is terrified. He was trying to help, but he's cost Cody Rhodes and potentially the entire family everything. Cody's mother can't watch. She leaves ringside, and The Rock continues the beating. He pours salt into the wound and he throws him to the outside. Now he turns his gaze to Paul Heyman. This could mean big trouble. Cena, he's on his farewell tour, and it looks like the tour is rolling into the SmackDown hotel. Cena meets business, and that business leads us back to the Blue Brand. And the world waits with bated breath to find out what he has to say. Well, You know, at this point in my career, I feel like I've done it all. I've held every championship WWE has to offer. Well, except one. Hello, Bron Breakker. Hello, Intercontinental Championship. But I'm not talking about that for now. I'm talking about the elusive number 17. Now, far be it from me to assume such an honor would be just handed to me. But this isn't any ordinary circumstance. You see, I'm not dealing with an ordinary champion. I'm dealing with the final boss. Ooh, yeah, the final boss, who just so happens to be my boss. He just so happens to be able to make these kinds of decisions. So, I am officially asking for a shot at number 17 at my final Elimination Chamber.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Ah, shut your f***ing mouth, Cena. All I hear is farewell this and farewell that. Well, no one cares. In fact, The Rock can barely believe you're out here running your mouth. The Rock thought you were smarter than that, just like I thought that fat walrus-looking clown Paul Heyman was smarter. And the final boss hears your request, and he ran it past the powers that be, and the powers that be happen to be me. And the powers that be said you can take your little challenge, turn it sideways, and stick it straight up your goofy jorts-wearing ass. Cena wants answers and says, I know it's well within your power to say no, Rock, but if you're surprised I'm here, thinking I should just pack it up and leave, why don't you jump in at the chance to end the John Cena farewell tour? Because, to be honest, Rock, you're kind of coming off as a bit of a bitch. It's a no, because I don't think you've got what it takes to even make it to Elimination Chamber. Cena is blindsided. The Rock leaves Fatu and Sikoa to it. He's clearly been able to get them back on the same page in a private discussion. And they're all over Cena. And perhaps The Rock is right. Perhaps even if The Rock did accept the challenge, Cena wouldn't even be able to physically make it to Elimination Chamber. But as Fatu lines up Cena for a super kick, Cena moves and he smashes Solo. And it's the opening that he needed. And he lands an AA on Fatu, who rolls out of the ring via the impact. Solo then gets one, and he rolls out of the ring as well. All while the final boss watches on, so annoyed. But there's still no answer. Is The Rock running from Cena? Because a man with nothing to lose is incredibly dangerous. And Cena is asked about that very confrontation at an event he's appearing for an upcoming film. Hey, listen, Dwayne's great. To get back to the top at this stage of our careers is incredibly impressive, but what's even more impressive to me is his ability to dodge. He's talking all around it and he's avoiding it. I get it. He doesn't want the embarrassment. It's kind of just like losing a fight in a movie or tanking at the box office. He's going to try and spin around it. He's going to try and sell his tequila. He's going to try and do whatever he can, but he's going to continue to deny the fact that he's running away from me, and he's going to continue to spin it in a way that makes him look good. I just hope he's got some good promos written on his hand to talk around this one. Tama Tonga and Tongaloa are assaulting Cena at the press event. This is unheard of. The Rock has eyes and ears everywhere, and he's sent his henchmen to actually answer the challenge this time. And Tama Tonga has the answer. He says to Cena, "You want to talk now? We can see you, John Cena. We see you loud and clear. And the final boss sees you. And he does things when he wants. So the true tribal chief accepts your challenge, if you can even make it." Cena is left laying, and the non-wrestling crowd at the press event are left stunned, and it gets global coverage. And now, knowing what is happening, the whole world is talking. It doesn't get much more sentimental or nostalgic for the fans, as well as a whole new generation of fans finding out just how deep this rivalry runs. And while they both have more of their career behind them than ahead of them, they bring one hell of a fight. But if you thought this match would be straight down the middle and not have any chaos, you couldn't be any more wrong. Because Cena is showing just how badly he wants number 17 before the farewell tour is over. The Bloodline backup starts to descend on ringside, and the crowd showers them in boos. But the boos turn to overwhelming cheers when Tama Tonga and Tongaloa are cut off by the returning Usos. They're back after the violent beating, and they have revenge in their eyes. But as we well know, there isn't just those two who have the Rock's back, and arriving at ringside is Solo, but cutting him off is Sami Zayn. He's got revenge on his mind as well. Solo can't make it into the ring, but they also have Jacob Fatu coming from another corner of the arena. They are inevitable, but they get thwarted again. This time it's Cody Rhodes, and it feels like the chaos of WrestleMania 40 all over again, of which of course Cena was involved in to help Cody win that title. And now the roles are reversed. But in all the madness, The Rock still is a massive threat, and he's trading with Cena. And the final boss laces Cena with a right hand that stumbles him, and The Rock picks him up and plants him with a rock bottom. But of course, The Rock wants to finish him off with the people's elbow, and he savors the moment. Heyman grabbed the ankle. The wise man is back, and he's trying desperately to stop The Rock from keeping full power. And as Rock is yelling at him and berating him, while also being held back by the referee, Cena is stirring, and he has the chance to pounce. It's Rikishi, and he's done it for The Rock. He's done it for the final boss, who goes on to land the final blow in the form of a people's elbow. The Rock denies Cena his 17th World Championship, but most importantly, he retains all the power. And we know there is only one man who can stop him, but he's nowhere to be seen after the violent assault. But even if he was, he still has to go through this stronger and more dangerous bloodline, who are now backed by Rikishi. But not only that, Roman loses another ally. Boys, I appreciate you. I appreciate Roman accepting me as family. But I can't build my entire career around trying to fit in. I need to stand on my own 2 feet. I know you guys are going to have plenty of people looking to back you up and get back at them. And you guys can handle it. I know you can. So good luck. Most importantly, stay Usi, my dogs. Sammy steps away from the fight and chooses to fight on his own and go back to Raw. But one man who isn't stepping back from the fight is the final boss. So is anyone surprised? No. Seriously. Is anyone actually surprised? John Cena. Are you kidding me? You all thought that dumbass jorts-wearing loser could step to the final boss, huh? And what else? Sami Zayn, the redheaded stepchild who finally picked up on it, that he wasn't wanted here. Well, off is the direction he And don't forget, you thought that Paul Heyman was a wise man. No. Not only have we upgraded our members who fight, we upgraded there as well. So ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the true wise man, Solofa Fatu. Once famously known as Rikishi, now known by his given name Solofa Fatu. He's not alone though. He's got Solo and Jacob flanking him. And as the new wise man, his first order of business is to squash the tension. And he wants to bring them closer. And after some words of wisdom that aren't picked up by the mic, it seems the new wise man is already working his magic. And they now head to the ring to join The Rock. And then The Rock gets down to business. Now let's cut this bullshit. This should have happened last year, but that piece of trash, Cody Rhodes, ruined it. So I took him out. This should have happened last month, but that goofball, phony, Jort Cena f***ed it up. Rock took care of him. But now, we get the chance to see the biggest match in WrestleMania history. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am here to... shut the fuck up, Heyman. Let me guess, you're here to accept on behalf of your bullshit client. Oh, Dwayne, your wise man didn't tell you? That's not very wise, is it? I'm not here to speak for him. He can do that himself. The Rock is annoyed. He's upset at the lack of killer instinct, and he says, "Solo, Jacob, let's end this." They begin to walk towards them, but Heyman is the original wise man for a reason, and he made some calls to assemble some backup. It has to be the biggest six-man tag team match in SmackDown history. It's almost like Paul Heyman has assembled the Avengers to make one final tilt at taking back the power from the egomaniacal final boss. And the crowd absolutely eat this match up. We get so many incredible interactions. The absolute top stars in the business all looking for an advantage. And The Rock asserts his dominance, but we are still yet to see Roman and The Rock actually physically come together. And the crowd is desperate to see them go, but The Rock isn't willing to give them what they want, because as he claims, he doesn't want to give it away for free. However, while Reigns, Rhodes and Cena are trying to bring the bloodline down, it actually could implode from within. The tension has spilled over. The Rock is pissed. This is not how he likes to operate. The pursuit of the Ulafala drove them apart initially, and they could never let it go. And now the man who holds the Ulafala has lost control as well. But it all falls apart even more as Tongaloa and Tama Tonga spill out from backstage, brawling the Usos. The match just completely gets thrown out because as Fatu and Solo are fighting each other, Cena and Cody decide that they will capitalize and take it to them as well. It's completely out of control, but the crowd is still waiting for Roman and Rock to go because they're face to face. They're going to explode. It's been coming for so long. But then they get separated by their own wise men who advise them to save it till WrestleMania, which is shaping up as one of the biggest ever. And not just because of this absolute dream match, but the fact that we will get another one. It's time in what could legitimately be once in a lifetime. Everything is on the line. The sacred Ulafala, the undisputed WWE Championship. But in what feels much, much more important, family pride. And flanked by both of their wise men, the match is physical. The match is emotional. And this family is complex, this family is proud, and the two figureheads, very appropriately, draw each other's blood in the throes of battle. Roman is fighting with pure emotion because The Rock put the Ulafala on after Roman tried to lay it to rest alongside his father. But The Rock is fighting for another reason. He fights for power. He fights for control. His ego is out of this world. But it's his ego that makes the difference. He's talking all kinds of trash to Roman while he's beating away on him, and he's saying, "You failed the family. You f***ed everything up. You made me do this. You made me do this. You turned me into a monster. You failed all of us. You failed Seeker." Roman goes berserk. He hammers the Great One. He pushes him to depths that no one ever has. He completely snaps and he nails him with a Superman punch, and The Rock is down. And Roman goes to the corner with Paul Heyman at his side with tears in his eyes and says, "Do it for the family. Do it for Seeker." Roman fought a clean, fair fight, and he came out on top. He humbles the Great One, and in the process makes himself even more great. And The Rock now realizes that he's learned a valuable lesson. Power and ego is always trumped by family and loyalty. He hands the WWE Championship to Roman Reigns, but he's still wearing the Ulafala, and he refuses to place it on Roman's neck. And this is because he wants to hand it to Paul Heyman, the man who stayed loyal to Roman the entire time, the man who refused to acknowledge anyone else. And it is he who places it over Roman's neck. And together they walk to the stage once more. And they stand where Roman's father placed it on Roman's neck. And Roman lays the Ulafala, his father, and therefore the bloodline saga, to rest.